Greetings, you scum. My name is Crusty and welcome to another episode of Scumday Sundays. Now, last Sunday, I asked you guys to provide some suggestions for what we could do this Sunday. I mean, a lot of people seem to like the idea of a Q&A. Like, I got a lot of messages and stuff, everyone's saying do a Q&A. Like, there are other ideas as well. Some ideas I can't do, either because I can't, also because I don't want to. She's all well and good doing a Q&A, but I can't do a Q&A with questions. So recommending a Q&A last week for this week, but not actually giving questions is a little bit of a tricky thing. So I thought, okay, well, I could kind of do a Q&A, I guess. I guess we could do a Q&A. Don't know what else to do this week. And I'm a little bit late on the planning side of things. But where do I get the questions? So I figured we'd take to the internet and get some questions asked towards us. Which brings me to a website I've used before in the past, I know a lot of people are familiar with, and it's called Would You Rather. Now, I've used this in the past, but seeing as how you guys wanted some Q&A or something, and last time I did use this, a lot of you really enjoyed it. You said you enjoyed listening to my views about things, which is good, I guess. Also good comfort for my ego. I'm trying to develop my ego to a point where it becomes large enough and it has its own gravitational pull. That's my dream. I want my head to be big enough to attract planets. Would you rather eat only lima beans for the rest of your life, or be allowed to eat your favourite meal but only 3 times a week? What a stupid question. Stupid question. On one side, I can only eat one specific thing for the rest of my life, or I continue to have the freedom I have right now, and I can eat my favourite meal only 3 times a week. But I wouldn't have my favourite meal 3 times a week anyway, so that's one more option open to me that I would normally go with unlimited options. So obviously I'm going to go for that. What a stupid question. Who are those 9%? Well, those 9% are idiots. They shouldn't be representative of the human race, and if aliens come down to Earth one day asking questions and demanding to speak with the most intelligent of the species, we should not recommend that portion of the species. We should drown them in a lake of fire. If you were on a safari, would you rather have your foot stepped on by an elephant or have your foot bitten by a lion? Now, how much pressure on either one of those options exists here? Like, a foot stepped on by an elephant seems like a straight deal. I mean, you got a flat foot, you know, your foot's flat. How long until the elephant removes its foot and carries on its merry way? Also, will it step on it with full force? Will it just slightly press on it? As with the lion, will it like give it a little nibble, like a play bite, like if you're playing with a kitten or a dog, it gives you a little play bite, doesn't really hurt you? Or will it like bite? It doesn't say it bit it off, it just says it bit it. Will the teeth pierce the skin, go through the other side? Is that something which will happen? I'm not sure. This question itself is surrounded in a veil of mystery. I'm going to go with foot bitten by a lion, I think. I'm in the minority there. Okay, I mean, obviously, there's no guarantee that the lion won't eat me afterwards, I guess. It could start on the foot and then carry on, but I mean, it just says have your foot bitten by a lion. Also, elephants can be violent, so I don't really know. Would you rather army crawl everywhere or always have bad luck? Bad luck is bad. That means to say everything you do would, like, the worst possible option would happen, right? So the worst possible option at any given time would be death, I would assume. Like, I'm sat here talking to you, suddenly my head explodes. Something like that. I'm sat here talking to you, my tongue gets a mind of its own, comes out and it grows in length and then strangles me. I'm strangled by my own tongue. Lots of bad options, bad luck, you know. I'm crossing the street. This is a bit of a gamble. I get hit by a bus. That's bad luck. On the flip side, army crawl everywhere. So you're gonna crawl everywhere. Could you then construct some kind of apparatus where you can hoist yourself up on some kind of mechanical legs thing? So you're at a decent length, but you're in like a little box doing that, and that's what you do to operate it. If so, let's go with that. I'm gonna go with that, because then at least there's a brief kind of option and possibility of continued and sustainable life, where if I had bad luck, I would just die. Bang! I've got cancer. I'm dead now. That's bad luck. Would you rather have no tongue or have no teeth? No teeth. Pretty sure you can't speak without a tongue. I'm not sure if I'm wrong there. I don't really know how that works. But I'd like to be able to at least be able to communicate, you know what I mean? You know what I mean? Kinda need my teeth. But I mean, I'll get rid of them as long as I can keep my tongue. Also, I can have fake teeth. Maybe I can get some scientifically engineered, like, shark teeth. I get really shark teeth, then I could be like some kind of evil mutant fella, and I could be notorious along the streets, and people can spread word of this guy with shark teeth. You don't want to mess with Shark Tooth. He'll mess you up, man. He might eat you. He doesn't like human meat, but he'll eat you just to see you squirm. My name will be spread in fear, a shadow across the land. All because I have no teeth, but I get to keep my tongue. So yeah, I'm gonna go with that. Would you rather raise a family with Samuel L. Jackson or raise a family with Vin Diesel? Samuel L. Jackson. I don't know why. I didn't think too heavily on that. Also, more people said Vin Diesel. That's racist, isn't it? Would you rather have an uncontrollable itch that attacks at sporadic times, or always have chapped lips? Ooh. Whereabouts is this itch? Could be, I mean, if it's uncontrollable, that means you have to itch it as soon as it kicks in. Like, imagine you're at, like, a funeral, giving a speech, and suddenly you're furiously itching your areas that you shouldn't be itching in a funeral situation. Which is quite bad, but it's not constant. On the other side, you always have chapped lips. Chapped lips suck, right? I don't like chapped lips. Chapped lips suck, and they're uncomfortable, and they can hurt. I'd imagine you get used to chapped lips, but you wouldn't ever get used to an uncontrollable itch because it's uncontrollable, and you can never know when it's going to strike. So I'm gonna have the chapped lips. Would you rather only speak in words that begin with H, or not be able to say any words that have the letter E in them? Now that is a tricksy one, isn't it? Only speak in words that begin with H. Well, let's try that. Let's try and speak in a sentence which only words begin with H. Hello, hi. Hi, ham, Crusty, how, ha, who. Those aren't actually words. I got around it. So there you go. I can get around it. As opposed to not being able to say any things that have the letter E in them. Lots of things have the letter E in them. Like, the best words have the letter E in them. Like, zebra and dandelion. Only speaking words that begin with H. I can get around that. You can learn that. You can learn that. I'm sure you can learn that eventually if you dedicate yourself enough. And if you can only do that, you're gonna get around it, and you'll be fine with it. So I'm gonna go with that. Would you rather fine $5 or have your local WNBA team win the championship? I'll fine $5. Obviously, that benefits me. The stupid team that I'm not even a part of winning a championship. Why would I care? I don't care. $5 can get me stuff. Would you rather be wanted or be needed? Be wanted. Be wanted. I mean, if you're needed, then that means they'll stop at nothing, right? They'll stop at nothing to get you. Like people will kill stuff and like obstacles in their way to get to you, which could be a little bit weird, a little bit scary, a little bit forceful. Like, I'm just not that into you, I'm sorry. But wanted means they want you, but they might not be too crazy enough to like stab everyone in their way, you know? Also, wanted could mean like wanted for like a crime. And there are cool crimes you can commit, like stealing books out of a library. That's really cool. Only cool people do that. Would you rather live in Hyrule or live in the Mushroom Kingdom? Hyrule. Absolutely Hyrule. I'm in the minority there, but those people are idiots, so what do they know? I mean, Hyrule, there's darkness comes over and stuff. There's a bit more... I mean, it's dark stuff happens, right? There's also magnificent stuff around that dark stuff. In the Mushroom Kingdom, there's just some fat genocidal plumber guy running around jumping on everything, eating mushrooms, and probably beating women. That's why she always runs away with a turtle dinosaur. I live in Hyrule, obviously. Would you rather be married to someone who is a know-it-all or very ignorant? Know-it-all. A know-it-all, I think. A know-it-all, right? Ignorance is annoying, right? Ignorance is great as well. It's not always a bad thing. Like, there's opportunity to learn there, right? Unless they refuse to learn, then that's just infuriating. But a know-it-all is really annoying, but if they know it all, you can always learn something. Like, if you have a question, like, how do I fix that hole in that thing over there which has a hole in it which I want to fix? They would know how, and they could probably do it as well, because they know it all. This is difficult one. Would you rather only have access to YouTube on the internet or only have access to games on the internet. So the internet is exclusively YouTube or it's exclusively video games. Guess YouTube, right? I mean, you can watch stuff, you can learn stuff. I can continue to be the YouTuber, right? I don't have to use internet games. Although, actually, no, I have to download them. Only have access to YouTube, I suppose. I mean, you can learn so much stuff through YouTube, but games on the internet, they're not always that great. Plus, does Steam come under that? Does Steam, can I still use Steam? Like, if it's in a separate client? I guess, how would I get Steam if I can't download it from somewhere? Ah. Maybe I can get somebody else to go on their version of the internet and give me everything I want, and then install it on my computer without access to the internet. There you go, there's a workaround. There you go, YouTube. Done. Worked around it. Just like that. Would you rather stop using YouTube or stop using Facebook? Stop using Facebook. I don't use Facebook anyway. Facebook, I hate Facebook. Okay, so the next one is going to be the last question, okay? We have to end this at some point, right? Next one's going to be the last question. So I hope it's going to be a good one. Let's hope it's a good one to end it on. Let's hope that. Would you rather stab yourself in the stomach with a 5-inch blade or cut off the tips of all your own fingers? Ah. Now that's an interesting question. Do I get a choice of when and where I do these things? If I'm in hospital with doctors surrounding me and I go into a hospital and say, "Excuse me, I'm going to stab myself in the stomach with a 5-inch blade. Please be here straight away so you can save my life." And then I get to keep the tips of my fingers. Also, how far is the tip of the fingers? Is it like just that? Like, it doesn't say how much. So you could do a tiny little bit. That's still the tip, right? The very top would be the tip. I'm going to cut the tips off my own fingers. A lot of people didn't pick that. Okay, wow. I mean, they didn't think it through. Obviously, I thought it through. Didn't have to cut that much off. That's fine. So this does it for this episode of Scumday Sundays. I hope you enjoyed this. I kind of enjoy this. It's been a long time since I've done this, but I enjoy these very basic questions. Makes you think about stuff, and it's simple, and I like it, and I enjoys it. I apologise if it is kind of boring, if it came across like a normal kind of video that I do. I don't want that to be the case, but at the same time, I mean, it is what it is, isn't it? So for next week's video, I want you to leave questions down below, and we're going to actually do a proper Q&A, because you guys want to see a Q&A, a proper Q&A. Hell, let's do a proper Q&A. So in the comment section down below, leave your questions for next week's Q&A, and I will round them all up, and I'll answer them, potentially, if they're good. Some of them might be really bad, and I'll just completely ignore them. So thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you all in the next video. So long, my friends, and farewell.